Okay, picture this. Midnight, Moscow. A huge, dark Soviet limo glides down into an underground garage. Seems routine, right?
But it's not. The driver's knuckles are white on the wheel. He's terrified. You can almost feel it. What's going on?
Exactly. That's the kind of atmosphere we're diving into today. A world filled with hidden operations, Cold War secrets, things kept buried.
And we're working with some fascinating material here, excerpts from Joseph Finder's thriller, The Moscow Club. We're aiming to, peel back the layers.
Look beyond just the plot. Find those surprising links, the real reasons people are doing things, and how it all fits into actual history.
Right. And, to help sharpen that kind of critical thinking needed for complex stories like this, you might find the YouTube channel Mindful Moments useful. It uses AI for book analyses, really designed to make you think.
Interesting. So let's start with a key figure. Alfred Stone. He was, quite something in his day. Fiery lecturer, Pulitzer Prize-winning historian, even worked in the Truman White House.
But now, he seems like less than he was. A shadow, maybe. And yet he gets pulled into the secret CIA group, the Parnassus Foundation.
Operating out of a secured townhouse in New York City, no less.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Even diminished, he's still valuable somehow.
Well, yeah. Remember his big prediction back in '84, PAE Tag 121, that classified paper where he basically called Gorbachev's ride?
Oh, right. That was legendary. But only in very small intelligence circles. Showed he really understood the Kremlin.
Exactly. So even if he seems faded, that past insight, that's still a potent weapon, or at least a valuable asset.
And then his son, Charlie, gets dragged in. He's off climbing the Adirondacks, trying to be miles away from all this stuff.
And bam, a helicopter shows up. With a message, no less. Charlie, Mama wants you back home. Talk about pulling him back abruptly.
It really sets the scene for this tense meeting he has back at Parnassus with a guy named Saul Ansbach.
And Ansbach immediately starts pushing him, wants him to look into something called the Lenin Testament.
And here's the hook. Ansbach ties it directly to why Charlie's father, Alfred, ended up in jail way back in 1953.
Charlie's not having it, though. He sees Ansbach as a manipulator, which, might be true, but why use the father's past like that? It feels personal.
But Ansbach plays his card, shows Charlie just the last page of this super secret transcript, eyes only dealt to classification.
And Charlie's reaction, utter shock, just astonishment. The script leaves us hanging. Just like Charlie, what could be on that single page?
And that connection Ansbach makes Lenin Testament, 1953, jailing it, heavily implies Alfred's downfall is tied up in that old document. Some massive secret.
Definitely. Now, shift gears slightly. We meet Winthrop Lehman, very distinguished, wealthy, well-connected, and connected to Charlie's family.
Yeah, Charlie even recalls feeling kind of special as a kid. Elect, he calls it, because of the Lehman Association. It helped offset the disgrace around his father.
Lehman provided a kind of social legitimacy, didn't he? A shield against the whispers. And he's got his memoirs out, A Lifetime, suggesting a very polished public image.
But then, this jarring little scene. A seminarian finds this guy gushing, totally distraught. And gushing is crying, insisting, I kept my promise to Lehman, never said a word.
Whoa. Okay, so Lehman isn't just a benevolent benefactor. What promise? What secret does Gushing carry that causes him so much pain? It immediately casts doubt on Lehman.
It really does. The contrast is stark public respectability versus this hidden emotional burden.
This drives Charlie and his estranged wife Charlotte, who happens to be a TV correspondent, to do something risky.
They sneak into Lehman's private archives. You feel their nervousness, the risk of getting caught. And the archives themselves, perfectly organized.
Meticulous, which is a lot about Lehman, maybe. Control freak. Or just someone very careful about managing his secrets.
Their shared goal, despite their own issues, underlines how much Alfred's past still dominates their lives.
They find a note. File to 74 leads them to locked cabinets. An inside drawer 74.
An FBI file, number 978234. And the contents. Just devastating for Charlie.
It shows Winthrop Lehman worked with the FBI to put his own father, Alfred Stone, in jail.
Can you imagine everything Charlie believed about his father's innocence, about Lehman's friendship, gone, shattered right there?
It's a huge turning point. Hard proof of betrayal from someone they trusted implicitly. Now the question is why Lehman did it.
And we get this flashback about Charlie asking his dad about something peculiar related to Stalin. Alfred shuts him down, won't talk, tells him specifically not to ask Lehman.
Which, in hindsight, is incredibly telling. Alfred knew. He knew Lehman was dangerous territory regarding that specific topic. Whatever it was tied to Lehman and high-stakes Soviet history.
While all this is crashing down, Charlie briefly connects with a friend, Lenny Wexler. Charlotte's moved out, things are tough, and Lenny's just there for him. Solid.
It's a small moment, but important. Shows he's not totally alone, even as his world unravels.
Charlie thinks about that whole relationship with Lehman, how it seemed to almost fix things socially after his father's imprisonment.
Like Lehman's status somehow laundered the family name. It highlights the potential for manipulation hiding behind supposed kindness. A very calculated facade, perhaps.
So Charlie confronts Lehman. He asks about the locked drawers, basically accuses him. You did him in, meaning his father.
And Lehman's reaction, not calm denial, it's anger, fear. He yells for his bodyguard to grab the papers Charlie found.
That reaction tells you everything, doesn't it? Charlie hit the bullseye. Lehman's desperate to bury it again.
Then things really escalate. Ansbach gets murdered. We learn that happened off page, and soon after, an envelope appears under Charlie's door.
Cryptic stuff inside. M3 still in place. An address for Lennon's old secretary in New Jersey. A warning to keep a photo. Info is power. You may need bargaining chip. Signed, just S.
Okay, M3 still in place. That sounds bad, like really bad. A high-level American mole in Moscow, still active, unknown to the proper channels.
Could that be linked to the hedgehog report mentioned earlier? Some kind of deep conspiracy?
And remember, 1953, Alfred jailed, Stalin dies, a time of massive chaos in the Kremlin. It all feels connected. And who is S?
Charlie tries calling his friend Lenny again, the supportive one.
But the tone is completely different. Lenny sounds scared, tells Charlie basically, stay the fuck away, then hangs up.
Wow. So Lenny's been warned off or threatened. The danger is real and it's spreading. Charlie's isolated.
Absolutely. The walls are closing in. He needs answers urgently.
So he goes to that address from the note, finds Anna Zinoyeva, Lenin's former secretary, living as Irene Potter in New Jersey.
She's terrified at first, doesn't want to talk, mentions old promises to stay silent. But Charlie somehow persuades her. What does she know? It must be tied to the Lenin Testament, to that whole era.
Meanwhile, we get this glimpse into a secret meeting. Intelligence types Lansing, Bayless talking about M3. Lansing is furious about bloodshed.
But others are downplaying it, mentioning some agreement, saying Parnassus Ansbach's group had stopped looking into the hedgehog business anyway.
It shows serious conflict inside the intelligence community about this M3 situation. And people have died over it. Hedgehog sounds like the internal name for this M3 mess.
And there was a cover-up, or at least a deliberate halt to the investigation. Why? Who benefits from M3 staying hidden?
Then another name pops up from those files. Charlie found Warren Pogue, FBI special investigator, linked to file 74.
So the FBI is definitely involved in Alfred Stone's past, potentially in the cover-up. It's not just CIA. This thing is sprawling.
It's really an intricate web, isn't it? Personal betrayals tangled up with these massive intelligence operations. You can see how reflecting on narratives like this, maybe using resources like mindful moments or thinking back on our previous analyses, really helps you develop the critical thinking to see patterns in all this complexity.
Definitely. You start piecing together the fragments, and the confirmation of Ansbach's murder just ramps everything up for Charlie. He's now actively on the run.
Using disguises, making risky moves. He's desperate.
And that Lenin Testament keeps coming back. Its power to destabilize, even decades later. It suggests the secrets from that time are still incredibly dangerous. There's talk of a current convulsion in intelligence.
We hear about Pavlichenko, the head of the KGB. He seems central to whatever is happening now. And Charlotte, Charlie's wife, is in Moscow as a reporter. Maybe she can help.
Maybe. But then there's the discovery of CIA-made explosives being used in bombings in Moscow. Is it a rogue CIA oppa? Or someone framing the CIA? Maybe Pavlichenko himself.
And another layer, this Starobredettes, or Old Believer Network, connected to an old NKVD defector. More history, more secrets.
All building towards this U.S.-Soviet summit meeting. On Revolution Day, no less. The timing feels critical.
The tension is palpable. There are hints of a huge assassination plot targeting the summit, possibly using that CIA plastique orchestrated by Pavlichenko.
Phone lines cut at Lenin's mausoleum. Security replaced by the KGB chairman's personal guards. Something big is about to go down. It feels imminent.
The climax hits hard on Revolution Day. Everyone's scrambling. Charlie, this guy Stefan Kramer, son of a gulag survivor, apparently confronting Pavlichenko near an ambulance.
Which is packed with explosives. It goes off. A massive explosion at 9:55 a.m.
At the same time, Sonia Kunitskaya, who must be Anna Zinoyeva using her real name perhaps, is trying frantically to warn about a bomb near the mausoleum.
And inside the Kremlin arsenal, a guard finds another bomb. Digital timer counting down from 6 minutes. Strong smell of propane. It's chaos.
And the final image The Soviet and American presidents, standing right on top of Lenin's mausoleum, totally oblivious. But then subtly, the word Starobriadets is passed between people in the crowd who seem unconnected.
That hidden network operating right under everyone's noses, even at the climax, it really underscores the whole story.
So what we've uncovered here is a narrative just saturated with secrets, decades old, driving people to extreme actions. The stakes couldn't be higher.
It's that classic wilderness of mirrors idea from Espionage, isn't it? Layers upon layers of deception, manipulation, where telling friend from foe is almost impossible.
And for you, listening, trying to quickly get a handle on complex situations and different viewpoints, hopefully tracing these threads shows how fragmented information can suddenly click together into a bigger picture, those aha moments.
It really hammers home the need for critical thinking, doesn't it? Constantly asking why, looking at motivations, considering the historical backdrop.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Think about the ripple effects of historical secrets. How long can they stay buried? And what happens when they finally surface? What are the real long-term costs of the kinds of events hinted at here?
It makes you wonder about the secrets still out there, shaping events in ways we don't even realize.
Absolutely. If you found this exploration compelling, please subscribe for more analyses like this one. Share it with friends who enjoy untangling complex narratives.
And if you want the full story, consider grabbing a copy of the Moscow Club. There should be a link in the show notes.
Most importantly, keep questioning, keep connecting the dots, keep thinking critically about the world and the stories we tell about it.